We back.
Good evening, beautiful people. Sorry to have kept you waiting, but I'm glad that you did. So, my name is Pebbles at Pebleroni, and I would like to welcome you to this new edition of Playful Soul Mates, where I am chatting to people who were instrumental in bringing my debut album, Playful Soul, to life 20 whole years ago. Can you believe? But before we get into it, I would like you to, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, because that'd be a really nice thing to do, because, then I can take over the world, which obviously is where I'm heading in life. Um, but yeah, let's get into it. So today's guest, I've invited on because firstly, I like to celebrate, right? Celebrating 20 years. And okay, yes, it is an excuse to celebrate the whole year, but I want to give people their flowers, for shaping the album, shaping my artistry, and shaping my space in the South African music industry. So, without any further ado, I would like to welcome my latest Playful Soul Mate, who, let's see, he wrote the song Lonely, right? And if you haven't heard it, it goes a little something like this. I don't want to be lonely, live my days without you, you're my one and only. Can't you see what you found in me? Yeah, that's how the song goes. This guy was the front man of the genre-defying Ntjapedi, the guys who led the mother tongue revolution. This guy is a fashion designer, he's an activist, he's a musician, he's an all-round awesome person, and I am so thrilled to have this deeply creative, playful soulmate with us today. Give it up for Rasekgantsho Matsabu. Bo, 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 bo. How's it going?
I'm okay, yourself, sis. All is well.
I am so blessed and grateful.
Grateful, likewise.
Yes. So I reckon we should just get right into it, yeah? You wrote the
Why
song
not?
Lonely on Playful
Yes,
Soul.
yes.
How did that come about, and what was your inspiration for the song?
Well, what people don't know is that prior to Ntjapedi, I've got a background in soul and R&B music. So I used to be in a soul and R&B group, um, along with a few friends of mine that also became known musicians, like Dedi, who was famous for the song Dau and Do Like I Do, and Natty Nice, the radio presenter and the producer, as well as Katleo Mutijwe. And these were the guys that we formed part of a group that was called Swing. So uh, my love for soul and R&B actually goes like way back, and we started around '92 playing around soul and R&B music. So later on, things changed, and I started doing music in Sesotho. And this is the time that I actually uh, had a breakthrough in terms of music. I had a breakthrough. So my breakthrough came with the Sesotho music. But what people don't know is that I have a background in soul and R&B. So the song "Lonely" was just me going back to the roots that I had in music or in soul and R&B. And the guy that I was working with, Battle Cat Tongogara,
Mm.
um, he actually he ignited my fire once again in terms of the soul and R&B scene, and
Okay.
called me as a songwriter and a co-producer for the song. So that's how it happened. As to what inspired it is, it was inspired by more or less a situation that I found myself in at that point
As
with
one
somebody that,
does.
yes, as one does, the person that I was with a person that I'm how can I say, that I was close with at the time. So it was inspired by love, true love. Actually, it was inspired by true
Yeah.
love.
The best songs always are, though, don't you think?
Yes.
Like your heart is broken, you like can't get over this person, but you get a great song out of
Definitely.
it.
Yes, yes, yes. That's
But
how
I
you
really,
discard
really
the
like.
energy.
Say again.
Now I'm saying that's how you use the energy positively.
Precisely. So tell us
Yes.
about the lyrics of the song. I mean, it's obviously it's lonely. You don't want to be lonely, but tell us about the lyrics, because I really wasn't even aware that you had a background in soul. So that is news
Wow.
to me.
All right.
And 92, that means you started out really early. How old are you, if I may ask?
I'm
I thought
actually
it was
born
only
1970.
women who hid their age.
Who? Well, I was raised by women, so my feminine side gets to act up once in a quite a lot. That we got. But I was born 1979.
Okay, no, that's
I was
young.
born
That's young.
1979. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
that makes sense now.
Okay. No, that's young. That's still young. But
That's so yeah.
let's just and the context of that song, now versus then, does it still mean the same thing to you now as it did then, or has it changed over the years?
No, 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 no. It really hasn't changed. It's still pretty much the same. I'm still a person that believes in love. I'm a person that believes in romance. So in that regard, I'm a person that was raised by a mother and a father that were married. So I still believe in all of that. So in that regard, the message really hasn't changed. It still remains the same. People will always, I mean, people will always find their way to define a relationship between a man and a woman, be it umjolo, or be it marriage, or whatever way that you would want to define it. But there'll always be that. I believe there'll always be that. I think it's deeply embedded in our genes. It's in our blood to love. It's in our blood to fall
Absolutely.
in love. Yes. So
Yeah.
it's a
And not
message.
just a man and a woman.
Yes, yes,
It could be
yes.
exactly. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
For a minute, I thought you were like, yeah, I thought for a minute, anyway, it's fine. But love is love. And it is, like you say, it
Love is
transcends
love.
space
Yes,
and time. We'll
yes,
always
yes,
love and we'll always
yes,
miss those that we did love if we're no longer with them.
for sure,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
no, I hear you. And moving along to that era, 2000s, like early 2000s, even up to like 2010, there was a certain
Yes,
energy, right? So I'd
definitely.
like to touch on your perspective on the energy that was happening with this particular album, with the music that you were making, Outrageous Records, and the scene in the Val, because I discovered a whole scene that I never even knew existed when I met yourself
Yes.
and Battle Cat and all the guys in Optical Illusion.
Yes.
So if you can just give
Yes.
us some insights from your perspective, because yeah, not everybody knows about Playful
Oh,
Soul, not everybody knows about Outrageous Records or the VAR.
yes. Yes. You know, it was a very special time um, around then, and there were there were people that were trying to do a lot of good, and by people I mean Outrageous Record. It was groundbreaking in terms of the TV shows that it produced, Street Journal, as well as the hip hop scene. It was actually mostly known for the hip hop scene. So
Yeah.
it bringing a lot of fresh vibes to the scene. For an example, the use of songwriters it's not quite popular in South Africa. In South Africa, you have one person actually doing everything.
Yeah.
Mostly, I'm not saying in all instances, but I'm saying in most instances, you find a person being a producer, the same person being the songwriter, the same person being the sound engineer. So Outrageous Records was trying to enhance music in a way that different minds get to contribute to this. And so I joined Outrageous Record as a songwriter. Um, that was supposed to write for. I was actually writing a song for KB Mutilenyani for the Coca-Cola
Okay.
collaboration.
Yes.
Yes, I was writing.
Okay.
Yes, she was supposed to do a song with Rahul Masekela along with
Okay.
Zaps. Yeah, but cutting the long story short, it didn't happen, and I was forced to leave my boots or as a songwriter, and then put my boots now as a music performer on stage because
I mean,
Braju
I
felt
can
that.
think of worse people to get to collaborate with, like Brahim Masekela. That's
Oh,
pretty epic.
it was a definite dream come true,
Tell me
because for the
about that
longest time I was
experience.
thinking to myself, what ways can I make as a musician to actually put myself out there. And I actually did think that, if I could actually have a collab with Hugh Masekela, and this is like 2 years before I actually did a song with him. And I was thinking to myself, what is it that can actually put me out there fast so that people get to know me as a musician? And I thought, that would actually nice. It would be nice to actually meet with Brahu. But I didn't know that I was actually planting a seed then, which would later bloom into
Manifest.
something beautiful. Yes, and it was all
So
because of
amazing.
outrageous. So came in the Coca-Cola collaboration, and then we did all of that, and times were like I say, it was a very special time. It was a time when a lot of hip hop was coming out for the first
Yeah.
time. Hip hop was being taken seriously, and by the likes of Proverbs, uh, we working guys like H2O, Zaps. These are guys that Outrageous Records produced, and these are some of the guys that I worked with in terms of the, the music scene, in terms of producing, songwriting, as well as being featured on some of their albums. So it was really, really a special time, which ushered um, the now time, which people are actually, uh, how can I say, it ushered an economically viable, or rather an economically stable, how can I say,
Industry.
industry. Yes, yes. So we
Yeah.
we actually are that. We
Absolutely.
didn't. we are not the first of the hip hop guys that actually made money out of it, but we ushered in guys that would later on make a lot of money
Yes.
out of the foundation that we laid for them.
Absolutely. It was, like you say, it was a very exciting time. It did lay the foundation for more hip hop cats to
Yes,
come out, for more
definitely.
collaboration to come out, because I feel like there wasn't a lot of collaboration happening at that time prior
Yes,
to like the outrageous records of the world. So
no,
yeah, I
there
don't know.
wasn't.
That's a pretty cool thing. But now the next thing I want to get into is because most people know you for the group Ntjapedi, ne? So I want to talk
Yes, for
about the
Ntjapedi.
Ntjapedi energy. Tell us about who Ntjapedi is, where the name originated, and what is it that you guys did? Because you had a very eclectic stage presence and sound. In fact, I think we might even have an image of you guys on stage at some point. Ames,
Oh,
can we
yes.
pull up image one?
All right.
I think we do. I'm not sure.
Oh,
But we can
okay.
talk in the meantime. Tell us about the origins of the band.
Um, the origins of the band. Okay, Ntjapedi is taken from a Sesotho idiom, which translates that two heads are better than one. But
Ah.
roughly or loosely translated or directly translated, it means two dogs shall defeat a beast.
Oh,
So that's
Nja
what we
baby. Okay, Nja is the
yeah,
dog and
dog,
baby is two.
yeah,
Two,
two dogs
two dogs will beat the. Okay, I
defeat
never
a
knew
beast.
that. I love learning stuff.
Yeah. So that's where it comes from. And
Okay.
the, and back then there was a whole lot of concern about restoring our languages um, for African languages to be represented in different spheres of life.
Yes.
Um, to have a
So
book,
tell me
a
about the mother
biology
tongue
book.
revolution. Was that
Yes,
the
yes,
okay?
yes. We were ambassadors of the mother tongue revolution. Yeah,
Okay.
we saw a future where we would have a biology book written in Sesotho, Zulu, or Xhosa,
Yeah.
or a geography, or even have astrophysics written in Sesotho, for that matter.
Yes.
So we were sort of pushing for that. We're pushing for a future whereby that could happen, and a future whereby musicians would be proud to also sing in their languages,
Yeah.
especially with Sesotho, because there weren't a lot of artists that were coming out then. There were bands like Sankomota back in the days that
Mm-hmm.
made a huge impact. Yes, and for the longest time, there wasn't any people that were coming forth in terms of the Sesotho revolution. So we thought that it would be nice for us to actually become ambassadors of the Sesotho revolution, as we are seeing it pick up a lot lately. So we're like the first band after a long time to actually come on pro African language revolution.
Okay. That's so
Yeah.
cool. That's so cool. We're having a few technical issues, but it's fine. But so we really wanted to show that image, but it's a whole thing because I didn't do something that I was supposed to have done. Sorry. However, one of the things that you guys were known for was saying that your music could not be boxed in. I think it's really important that you were ambassadors for speaking in one's mother tongue, creating in one's mother tongue, because there is a lot of influence that came from outside, especially at that time when we were exposed to hip hop, you know, the US hip hop, the US R&B, and all these sounds that were like really cool. So I think for people like yourselves to have taken those influences, but then represented them in a way that was authentic to yourselves, because ultimately English is a borrowed language. Not that I speak the tongue of my mother very well, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, I think it's really amazing that you guys had the foresight to be doing that. And yeah, I think it's I take my hat off to you. More on Ntjapedi, more on Ntjapedi. In that you said you couldn't box your music in. Was that a conscious decision, or was it just an organic thing that it was influenced by so many different things that you couldn't put it into one genre?
Well, there was one uniting factor about our music, and that was the Sesotho element.
Okay.
And that's for us, that was the mother tongue was the most important revolution to actually push within the music. And then in terms of the sound, we've borrowed just about everywhere else. I mean, if you listen to our songs, they have deep. There's folk music. There's a little bit of funk. There's a slight bit of R&B influence, but all of these were united by one solidifying fact, which is the mother tongue revolution, which is the Sesotho
Got you.
language. So yeah, for us, we couldn't be boxed musically. Even
Love
now,
it.
it's difficult for me to even box myself because I'm a musician, you know, and I've seen how boxing oneself could actually lead to one's demise at time, but not
Absolutely.
always. It, it could, it could.
Yeah.
So you know, we really want to box because I mean, as a musician, I'm featured on house songs. I'm featured on reggae songs. I do a whole lot of reggae. And I'm featured on folk songs, uh, even Africana songs. I've done a song with, I've actually done vocals for Chris Chameleon. Chris Chameleon
Are
is
you serious?
one of the, yes, Chris Chameleon from Sievenderland. I've I've also worked with him, and if I had boxed myself to being one musician, then I think I wouldn't have done the lot of things that I've done. I mean, I've also worked with Osun Lade, the the house, the famous house international DJ. So,
Wow.
and we've also worked for documentary. As in Ntjapedi, we once worked for a documentary, uh, that an international documentary by a lady that actually did stuff with Fidel Castro. Uh, yeah,
Wow.
and we she was doing a documentary on the ANC in South Africa, and we actually did the music for that. And
Oh
you know
wow.
uh, what attracted her to us is her love actually for Buena Vista Social Club, and how some of our songs actually reminded her of the Buena Vista Social Club music.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, so, so,
That's
so we were
amazing.
she chose us as a result of that. And
That
you
is
know, these are some of the things
incredible.
that,
But now
yes.
tell me, who were the members of Ntjapedi?
Oh, the members of Ntjapedi. Ntjapedi has ooh, we've got three initial members. Ntjapedi was started by three initial members, which is Mojalefa Mukubung, and Huiti Maile, and myself, Rasekgantsho Matsabu. And
Okay.
then we were later joined by Noku Finger on percussions, and we were joined by um, Mulifi Africa or Ulihile Africa, also known as Freaky, who's a dancehall artist, but he was playing for bass. He's a famous dancehall artist now. He's collaborated with the likes of Sizzla, Luke Fire, all these international reggae artists. He used to play bass for us. And then we had Tito Makunyani, who's a very great guitarist, um,
Okay.
who's played for a band called Tattoo. We also had Tebo Ditako, who is a drummer, who currently is an engineer actually, but who was a drummer for us. So that's Ntjapedi. That's all of us.
Wow. 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 And do you guys still work together?
Unfortunately, we still do work together, but not as Ntjapedi, not as a
Not as
unit Ntjapedi.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool though.
Individually, I still
All
consult
right.
the guys. Huiti Maile is an engineer, as well as Tebo Ditako. So I consult them for engineering, and the other guys, they play for me
Sessions.
in my new band, the Rasekgantsho band now that I'm in. So
Okay.
and with them, so yeah, we do a whole lot of work together. And I also dress
Nice.
the
Nice.
guys with my clothing as well.
Okay. Let's
In,
actually. I want us to play a little game. Now that you've mentioned
yes.
that you dress the guys, so this game
Ah,
is called "Style Me This Sound," right? And basically,
say
I'm going to
again.
name a track. The game is called Style Me This Sound. So I'm going to
Style
name a
me.
track. Style Me This
Okay.
Sound. I'm going to
Or
name a
style me
track.
this sound. Yeah.
Yes. And you have to describe the outfit, color palette, and vibe
Oh,
of this song if it were a person. Ne?
all right. All right.
So the first song is
Yes.
Hulukile.
Hulukile. Woo.
For those of you who don't know, that is a Ntjapedi song.
Yes. 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 Wow. Um. I see a whole lot of AI images in heaven with Hulukile. Soft velvety colors,
Okay.
mushy, like I say, velvety material.
Yeah.
Um, cream, how can I say, light colors. I'm still trying to create the outfit.
I put you on the
I
spot there,
you
hey?
know what my process with making clothing is actually, in most instances, is actually visiting the fabric shop. I visit the fabric
Okay.
shop.
Yeah.
From seeing the fabric, I mostly get the designs that I want to make. So
Okay.
hence I'm mentioning the fabrics first
The
before
fabric
I
first.
actually put the
Okay.
outfit.
So you're talking a light
Well,
velvet.
so and my love for hip hop as well. I'm seeing a light velvety tracksuit.
Tracksuit.
In
Okay.
yes,
I can see you're really
what?
thinking about this. I love it.
Well,
So
it's never
light
an easy
velvety
process.
tracksuit. What is the song? What is the song looking about?
Well, you'll understand as to the colors that I chose and the mushy, velvety fabrics that I also chose. It's a song. Uh, it's a song that says it's okay,
Okay.
and what it's really about. We we call it Kodiamalla in Sesotho, which is a song that's sung for somebody that has passed on to the next life. So
Okay.
Hulukile
Okay.
is a Kodiamalla.
Got it.
And yeah, it's a song that we wrote around when my uncle passed. I had a very influential uncle in my life. Um, So he passed on, and that's when I wrote this song along with Mujalefa, and then
Okay.
and
Nice.
Mujalefa also, how can I say, he personalized it because it
Okay.
wasn't long. He had just lost his sister Mapuleng, which is another
Oh,
song on the album Mapuleng. Actually, there's a tribute to Mapuleng on the album. So
okay.
it wasn't long. Um, it wasn't long when he had lost
Okay.
his sister. So
And do you find that process of writing in such an instance cathartic? Does it help with the healing?
things have changed in terms of that. It actually did help me with the healing, and I later tried to do something like that, and it just wasn't happening. And
Really?
it's one of it's the only song that I've actually written from not a happy space. That's what's in
Mm.
the song. And it's a very difficult thing for me to do. It's very difficult for me to write from a heavy heart. You know,
Mm, mm, mm.
write my music when the mood is good, when all is well, when
Yeah,
I've pumped myself and psyched
yeah.
myself for a good mood. And that's me. That's how I approach music generally. And
Okay,
with exception of the song, Hulukile, it came from a heavy heart. And
sure.
you know,
But so did Lonely.
for the
But
only time
so
it
did
actually went.
Lonely, right?
Yeah.
So now that is going to
Yes.
be the next one.
Yes.
So now, coming back to the game, if you were to dress the song Lonely, what would the color palette be? What what style would it be? And what vibe would it be? If Lonely was a person.
Lonely is it's okay. I'll start with the season.
Okay.
It's it's winter. It's
All right.
winter. The pattern is your it's it's green actually.
Green.
Green, yes. It's
What
green.
shade of green?
Bottle green.
Bottle green. Okay. Is that because
Bottle
we're
green.
drinking to get over the loneliness? Sorry.
Why not? And I see a knit,
Okay.
a cardigan,
All right.
knit, but one that looks like a baseball jacket.
Oh
You
wow.
see how
Okay.
a baseball jacket
Yes.
has got
With the cups.
ribbons. Yes. So
Yes.
it at far you'd swear that it's a baseball jacket, but as
But
one gets closer, you get to realize that it's actually a knit.
and it,
And
wow,
yeah,
wow. I love how you visually, like you've just merged sound and that's nuts. Sound and style. Whew, that's
yes.
amazing that you do that. I love that. Okay, we're gonna do one more. One more. Do you know the song
One.
Emandulo on Playful Soul?
Oh yes, yes.
So now let's do Emandulo. What would Emandulo look like or be dressed like if it was a person?
Emandulo would definitely be earthy tones,
Okay.
your browns, your beige, your your cream white.
Yes.
Um, yeah, because for me that's the sort of feeling that I get even from the message of the song Emandulo. You know, I can see a world. How can I say? maybe void of brightness or bright
Okay.
neon colors. So it would it would be it would be suede. It would be a suede, a brown suede
Wow.
worn with um, beige, cream white, uh, knitted t-shirt like fabric
So, but what is the
inside.
suede? Is the suede a jacket? Is it, what is the suede? Is it a coat?
It's almost like a parka. It's like a parka jacket.
Oh,
You
okay.
know,
All right.
yeah, it's a parka jacket. Yeah, with one that has a it's zip, but it'll have a studs. It'll have a flap that goes over the zip, and the flap
Oh,
will be
wow.
closed by golden studs. So
Wow.
the golden
I
studs
love the detail.
will come
I
out.
love,
Yes.
wow.
So
Okay, okay.
the
This is,
golden studs will come out nice and brown. Yes. And
yeah.
maybe have khaki pants with a beige, like I said,
T-shirt
knitted
underneath.
t-shirt. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
knitted. You know those light t-shirt materials.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, wow,
yeah, those
wow. Okay, so for those who don't know what the song Emandulo is, it's a song on the album Playful Soul that is in Xhosa. It was written by a guy
yes.
called Max Hoba or Maxhoba. And
Oh, yeah.
bear in mind that back in 2005, I could not really speak a word of Xhosa. So we were in
I
studio,
think I remember.
line by line, him teaching me how to sing this song. And in my head, I
Oh
was like,
man.
I don't want to butcher this. I don't want for people to be like, oh, you can tell she's not a Xhosa speaker. It's really whack. So I did
Ah,
it over and over and over again
mm,
until I think I pulled it
mm.
off. I think I pulled it off. But it's basically a
What?
song about how we've lost touch with our roots, how we no
Yes.
longer care for one another as humans. I'm just trying to go
Yes.
through the lyrics in my head. Yeah, it's like gather around everybody. You can almost imagine that you're in a setting where you're in a kraal or in a traditional setting, in a rural area almost. And people are being asked to gather around, like listen up because we have lost sight of who we are. We've lost touch with our roots. We've lost touch with the essence of who we are as people. We no longer celebrate the guys that go to the bush and come back as men. We no longer
Yes.
respect our elders and all of these kind of things. So that's what the song is about. So the fact that you're able to give a visual representation of what Emandulo would look like as a person, I think that's pretty spot on. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yay.
You're
Well,
most
thanks for
welcome.
playing along. Thanks for playing along.
You're welcome.
Next up, when I was doing the research about you, I found uh, there was a lot about you using language, using, yeah, language as a weapon. And I think you alluded to it earlier when you were speaking about the mother tongue revolution. So with all of
Yes.
this cultural bombardment that we spoke about earlier, how have you used language as a weapon? And do you think it's still an issue that we have today?
Well, for me, I've used it in terms of conscientizing people about our plight, as I was saying. You know, I wouldn't want our languages to suffer a demise that uh, other tribes have actually suffered.
Sure.
Like a lot of Namibian culture, for an example, which is normal as we speak today, because the people were wiped out. and later on, obviously, that would include language and all of that. So with me, I've actually used it to and better myself as well, as a person. Um, I've used it for creating a certain social standing, which enables me and and who and enables the person, or the kind of person that grew up listening to our sounds, to, how can I say, to instill pride. It was more about instilling pride, and in terms of the battle being over, I think it's still far from it.
Mm.
There is still a lot that still hasn't happened, and not that we are expecting it from other people to make it for us, but there's a lot that we, as ourselves, as Africans, need to do in terms of making sure that preservation of our our um, our languages, is 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 something of note. Is
Yeah, no,
something to be taken.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
You're right. There is a lot to be done, but I feel like for yourself, you're already leaving a legacy of
yes,
being an advocate for that. And I think the
yes,
fact that you conscientize through rhyme and music is also an effective way of doing that, because
yes,
it doesn't come across as preachy. You're just expressing yourself as your authentic self in your language, which I think is amazing. And I mean, you find so many other ethnicities that do that. For example,
mm,
Afrikaners, your Indian people, for example, they're more proud to do that than I feel we as South African native, I don't know even want to say native because we all originated from up there, but anyway, but you know what I mean, as Black South Africans, we often shy away from our own languages. But
and
moving right along. Sorry, no, no,
yes,
no,
I
say.
think there's a reason for that actually. Um, even with myself, things haven't always been peachy, as I can say, in terms of a black person coming out uh, and pushing for things like mother tongue revolution, especially on platforms that you know um, are previously set to to push their own agendas. I mean, every media house has its own agendas that they're trying to push.
Sure.
And what I actually came to realize is that it's not every media house that actually wants to push um, the sort of agenda that we've been pushing, that I've been pushing.
Mm.
Uh, so there has been a lot of marginalization as a result. For an example, I won't mention names, but I've been to radio stations whereby having speaking of the mother tongue revolution, and then the interview was actually cut short as a result of this.
Mm. Metro, 5 FM. Name names. We want to know who they
I
are.
won't say, but if you follow me on my Facebook, you'll actually find out some of these radio
Okay.
stations, because it's on my Facebook. So it hasn't been as smooth sailing. And answering your question as to why are we shying away, it's because we are still doing a lot of us on other people's platforms, which then becomes a problem. You see, so what I see, or what I rather think should happen is, we should push more platforms of our own, like you're doing currently now, you know, so
So
that
you're going to be starting your own YouTube channel,
sorry,
and you only converse in Sesotho, or just a thought,
maybe
just a thought.
okay.
Use it, don't use it, but we can grow the community like this. But isn't it great
Yes,
that we
yes,
have this kind of platform where we can do this? Because we, like you say, there are so many barriers to entry with the traditional broadcasters. You get
yes.
they keep those gates, hey, on so many
They
levels,
do,
not just
right?
on
They do.
language. Like it's if you're
Yes,
not in the back pocket of this commissioning editor, or if
yeah,
you don't suck up to this person, they're never gonna allow your concepts for TV shows to see the light of day on there. Anyway, that is a story for another day. But I love YouTube. I do. I love it. I love it. I love it. And if there is anybody out there watching, if you have any questions, please just pop them in the comments so that we can respond to them. But we're gonna move along a little bit. We're gonna play another game because you know me and games. After all, this is a celebration, so let's play another game. This one's called Cultural Rewind. No?
rewind.
And
Okay.
I'm going to give you a moment in South African culture, and you have to tell me what that moment meant to you. Pretty
What
simple,
that
right?
moment led.
Meant, what it meant to you.
Oh, what it meant to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So the first moment, and they're all from like the 2000s, 2010 kind of vibe. So the first one, the rise of YFM.
Ooh, the rise of YFM was yo. Where was I? I think I just finished high school, and YFM for me, I listened to YFM before there were even radio, when they were doing test signals, and the music captivated me so much. And for the first time, I had never had so much South African content in a radio, because not even on vernacular radio stations do you get like South African music played that much. So YFM, was on some other. For me, it represented it represented the artists, the South African artists, and a dream. It actually represented a dream that I was foreseeing by that time, a dream that I thought would happen in other radio stations, whereby we as local artists get to be given first preference in terms of being played out there, because this is one of the ways that we get to create revenue as artists.
Precisely.
And so if you give preference to other people, then you're not really empowering us as South African, so, which is what a lot of radio on TV was doing, or a lot of media was doing then. So YFM was just a breath of fresh air, and
game changer,
and a game changer, definitely. So
yeah.
I like I say, I was foreseeing great things.
No, that's I mean, I can totally relate to that, because like a lot of the stuff that we did musically was through YFM. Like some of the gigs that we played, I'd go to studio with I was chatting to Zabs the other day, and I was saying how I used to go to the studio with all these hip hop guys, all these MCs, and there'd be little old me on Rap Activity Jam. But you're right, it was a game changer, and it was so refreshing to hear South African music predominantly on that radio station. Really, really freaking amazing.
And won by the youth,
Yes. By the youth for the youth. Freaking amazing.
Yes.
Next song or next moment.
Okay.
First time Ntjapedi played at the bass line. What did that mean to you?
Oh, I don't remember the first time playing at the. What was it?
Oh, okay. Must it be your first gig, okay? Because I don't know the year. But I know you played.
Our first gig.
Yes.
Well, our first gig was actually it wasn't at baseline, but I'll touch baseline a little bit later on. Yeah. The first show that Ntjapedi had was at Sharpeville. At the Sharpeville at what's the name of the place? I forgot the proper name of the place. But it's affectionately known as nightclub, which is like an old theater. It's an old theater.
Yeah.
And it was a nightclub actually at some stage, and then it turned back to a theater again. So the first time we performed as Ntjapedi was there, and by the help of one of the fathers of township theater in South Africa, a man by the name of Gamakulu Diniso Brakamas. So he had helped us set up stage, and he had helped us set up lighting for our show. And for the first time, it was really so special. I really felt special for what he had actually done for us, the kind of setup that he had actually done for us, and the show was wonderful. The show was very wonderful. So I shall ever be thankful to Ntate Kamakulu Diniso, for our first performances in Ntjapedi.
Nice.
And then in terms of baseline, I remember I've done baseline so much that memory that.
Listen to you flossing on some.
Yes.
I've done baseline so much. Excuse us. Does that include baseline before they moved to Newtown when it was still in Melville?
Yes, from when it was still there, and which is before we recorded our album actually.
Okay.
Yeah, and later on when we had recorded our album, and our album was actually launched in baseline, and it was wow, that's the most memorable time about baseline was actually at our launch.
Nice.
It was such a special moment because it was sponsored by Clover Danone, Nkomazi. So Nkomazi came through for us, and they set up a guard of honor made of, or they set up Beatles, VW Beatles.
Oh yeah.
The old school ones, yes.
Yes.
And they were in the entrance as a guard of honor for people that were that were getting into the show.
That's so cool.
Yes. And we had those old school mugs,
the enamel ones.
The enamel ones, yes. The enamel ones, yes. And we had printed them Ntjapedi and Nkomasi. Yes. So everybody that went to the show got those mugs. They got the Ntjapedi mugs.
That's so
mugs.
Cool.
And
nice.
And Rude Boy Paul from YFM was the MC of the show.
Okay.
And it was such a special night. The Jazziel Brothers opened stage, followed by Jup. And Jup was a member of the record company that we belong to, which was Jup was our.
I don't even know. Sorry, I can't help out with this one.
Yeah, we're
Huh?
Playful Mates with yeah.
What was the name of the
Say again.
label?
Oh my goodness.
It's okay. It's okay.
Uh,
People can go and
I,
Google it.
no, no, I know it. I know it. And I
On
know
the
I'm
tip
gonna
of
get
your
into
tongue. But that
I'm
launch
gonna get
sounds
into
like it was amazing.
yeah. Yeah. So,
Wow.
open stage for us, and then it was just a night of wonderful things. Uh, what's his name from Bongo Muffin came on stage. Appleseed. Appleseed came on
Appleseed.
stage.
Just see.
As
Yes.
he could really hold himself as we were performing.
Wow. Wow. He was like so in
Yeah.
it.
So
But that
and
sounds
it
like an
actually
incredible launch.
yes, it was such a star-studded launch.
Wow.
It was one of the best things that I actually have ever
Wow.
happened to us. Um, and
My launch
that's
was
one of the
also at Baseline. Sorry,
sorry.
I'm saying my launch was also a baseline, but nowhere near as
Oh,
freaking memorable as that. Sweet
yeah.
Lord. Like, no,
Oh
no,
yeah,
no. Your label did the most there. That is so
yeah.
freaking
No,
cool.
they did some good job. They definitely did.
Yeah, no, no,
Bonzo
no. Big up to,
That's the name. That's the label. Bonzo Records.
okay. It would have been bad for you not to have remembered during the course of this
Oh,
chat.
well, and it was a record label that was just there for a short while, and it
Yeah.
only had Ntjapedi and Juju as artists. Those were the
Okay.
only people, yeah, that were on the.
Interesting, but they did good things. They did good things for the
Yeah, no,
limited
they
time
did.
that they were around.
For sure.
Yeah, Rick, I can't believe that the time has gone so quickly. Like, yeah, no, no, no.
Yeah.
So we are going to be wrapping up soon, but before we do that, I want to find out what is it that you're up to now. Obviously, you are still designing fashions. I can see in the background that there's a few items. I've got a gig coming up, by the way, very soon. In fact, two.
Oh,
And I would love to, be kitted out in a.
I'm gonna pimp you good, sis. I'm gonna pimp you good.
Love it, love it, love it.
No, definitely. We'll talk
Where is your
about it.
stuff available? Can people buy it online?
Well, currently my stuff is available on Facebook, so you can contact me directly. And then I also have a workshop in Sebokeng,
Okay.
zone. Yes, you can check the details of that in the Rasekgantsho clothing page. So currently, yes, the Rasekgantsho is fairly a new label, so
Okay.
it hasn't picked up. It hasn't picked up as much as Ntjapedi clothing did, because Ntjapedi clothing
Oh,
supply about 10 different shops around the country.
wow.
So yeah, up until also that faded, and now I'm coming with this. So currently, we are available in Zone 10. So our stuff is available in
Okay.
Zone 10, but we can also do like online via Facebook, WhatsApp,
Love it,
all of
love
that.
it, love it. I'll be placing my order very, very soon.
Looking forward, sis.
Very soon. So sorry, I interrupted you, but what have you got any exciting projects in the works? Obviously, this is really exciting to be developing a fashion house. It's pretty amazing.
Oh yes. Well, I've I've got fashion shows that are coming around September. Um, in terms of the clothing, and I'll be launching a few products, cosmetics as well. So, and I think before year end, we should have opened the first Rasekgantsho shop, either around
Love
the
it.
Val or Joburg. So either one of the two.
Nice. That's
Yes.
so cool. You're
Uh,
busy. You are busy, Moz. Tell me
I'm
about the
busy.
cosmetics. Because I could do with
cosmetics.
some.
We'll be using some Afrocentric, how can I say, products. We'll be using products that are African sourced, that were sourced in Africa.
Nice.
Things like butter. We'll be giving a little a twist of our own in terms of that, as well as perfume. Yes, we'll be having perfumes and introducing also certain scents that are African based, or rather South African based.
Nice.
There'll be some mostly Afrocentric cosmetic products coming.
I love that. Yeah. So you really you embrace culture in such a way that you express it through fashion, through music, through cosmetics even. That is amazing. I think that's really freaking cool. I cannot wait to see all of this come to life. I will definitely be supporting. I'm not going to be one of those people that asks for freebies. I'll actually support, and put my money where my mouth is. But that's amazing. And tell me, are you married, dating, kids?
Hey, that's a difficult one. Why did you ask me that, Pebbles?
We can leave it. Let's move swiftly along.
I've got kids.
How old?
I've got two beautiful daughters.
Okay.
The older one is 21 years old.
Oh wow.
And the younger one is 18 years old.
Whew. So you'll be getting some cows very soon.
Oh yes. Dowry payment coming.
Ukulisile, guy. Frick, that's amazing. I don't know if I could cope with two girls of that age, 21 and 18.
Oh. It's tough. Yeah, no. It's tough. Other one is a musician. The other one is a actor/dancer.
Oh wow! So they're both in the creative realm. Yeah, apples and trees, right? Apples do not move far from trees.
Yeah.
In Gesxhosa, we would say, aliwi kudemtin. I think I said it right.
Yes, that's true.
Wow. Okay. So now we're about to wrap it up soon. But what? Talking about young people, what are your hopes for future creatives? Where do you want to see young girls, for example, young people ending up creatively?
Well, I would only want the best for them. And what I actually want to see is a future that that is made up of all the, how can I say, all the things that we missed out on, and all the things that we currently are missing out on. And I'll tell you some of those things. One of the things that we are missing out on currently, and this goes to actually most of the artists, is sales in terms of music. The internet has actually taken sales away from us in a very clever way. The internet has taken sales away from us. We find ourselves having to find new ways of having to sell our music.
But isn't that a good thing?
What?
The fact that we are now being forced to be more creative.
It's not. It hasn't really gone that well for us. I normally post. I won't shy from it. I normally post about a lot of these apps that take our music and give us almost nothing. Actually, I was actually checking this this other one that it would take 75 years to actually make one US million dollar rent.
Yeah. Yeah.
70
Where will we
years.
be? Your children can benefit.
So
That's nuts, though.
I actually envision a future that is free from such strife that we are actually going through.
Okay.
And what I actually, for the youth, that is,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
envision a future whereby they've taken sales back into their arms, like our parents used to. They
Do
used to
you think
sell
that can ever
records.
happen again, though? I don't think so.
It can happen. It's just gonna need for us to think, how can we make it possible? Some people were trying with USB to sell USBs as albums, and to a certain extent, for certain people it did work, and for certain
Mm.
people it did. So
But with the
mean that
age of
the
streaming and like,
yeah,
I
but
really
with
don't see
all
how.
of that,
I
it
don't know. I
hasn't
just think
happened.
we need to be more creative in the way that we put our music out there, be it through sync deals, be it through just making people aware of it and being able to perform it live. Or I just feel that
And
there's more that we can do.
like myself, I'm more a performance-based artist now because of
Yeah.
such things.
Yes.
I still get gigs. I still perform with my band, but that's all there is to it. We are more performance-based because
Yeah.
it's difficult for me to call a band when there isn't money involved in it.
Sure. Sure. Tell me about it.
And these streaming ways are
Platforms.
actually, yeah, they taking these stream platforms are actually sort of taking money out of the artist. So it's not for us to abscond these guys, but to actually, we need to make better deals in terms of
I hear
these
you.
guys putting out there. Yeah,
I
because
hear you. I hear you.
there isn't much that we can do about streaming, but
Yeah.
it needs to actually be beneficial for us as artists.
Sure.
Because people
Sure.
like Snoop Doggy Dogg are complaining. I mean, Snoop Doggy Dogg was complaining
Magic.
about his YouTube royalties, and I was like, Snoop was like the turning point in hip hop in
If he's
1994. When
complaining, how much more?
he's complaining. So
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. That is deep. But I mean,
it
from
is.
from the research that I've done on YouTube, they are quite strict in terms of protecting artists' copyrights.
Yes.
From the research that I've done. So, I mean, I don't know. I need to look more into that specific case of Snoop, but I think there is a new struggle to be fought in terms of these other music streaming platforms,
Yes.
which we will get into not today. I think that's the one for another day. My next question for you is: what do you want your cultural legacy to be?
Well, what is cultural legacy, by the way?
Ooh. So I would say that it's as a representative of your culture or how you have influenced other people. What do you stand for?
In that regard.
Yeah.
Well, same thing that I've always stood for. Um, Preservation of our languages, and the reason as to why I'm so vocal about the preservation of our languages is um, studying our languages, one could actually tell that these are some of the languages that life was formed on because of the way they explain things. And if we lose all of that, then we are definitely going to lose a lot of history. and this history is actually contained within the
The
language
language.
itself. I'm only discovering certain words or the meaning to certain words. I'm only discovering now, and to words that I've known all my life,
Mm.
and it only happens in African languages. Not only, but for me, it's something that has only happened in the African context, as opposed to in English, because in English everything, I think it's more or less explained, but with our language, I find myself having to discover more and more and more. So there's a depth, there's quite a depth in terms of our languages, and that we need to, that we still haven't reached. You know,
We need to
we
preserve.
on the surfaces in terms of understanding the languages, and you know, we need to preserve these languages. And you know, I would love to be remembered as somebody that actually encouraged the preservation of these languages, so that, because I believe these languages are could could even explain the mysteries of life itself. You know, and it's there. It's contained within our languages, the mystery of life itself. So you
Wow.
know, I would love to be remembered as somebody that um, that advanced um, people people's perception in terms of how they perceive their language.
Love that. That's quite a legacy. I see you're already well on your way. So like big ups to you. And lastly, can you please give us a pebble toss? So you know how you throw a pebble into a stream and it ripples and you know changes the world. If you had one piece of advice that you would like to share, what would it be?
With pebbles.
No, no, no. A pebble. If you were to toss a pebble
Oh, oh,
into a stream.
oh, the name of the section of this show is called Throwing a Pebble.
Yes.
The sound is doing its bits on me now, you know. Um, a little bit of wisdom that I would share is words from His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie the First of Ethiopia. And what he said was that we should require from ourselves more than we think that we possess. So if you actually, what he meant was that if you actually think that you are a 10, you actually are a 20. If you think you're a 20, you actually are 100. So
Wow.
we should require from ourselves more than we think that we possess.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that's what I would love. Um, that's the little bit I would love to leave with people, that all that we do, let's require more of ourselves, more than we think that we actually possess.
Love that.
And
Love it. Whew.
that's how
Got
great things are
chills
built.
there. That's beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for that. And thank you for
Yes.
being such an amazing, playful soul mate. You've brought such depth and warmth and fun and color and light to this series. Thank you so much. I've had such a blast.
Oh no, I
So
wouldn't
yeah,
have it.
Rasekgantsho. Hey,
I say I wouldn't have it any other way. And thank you for inviting me on this platform. You know, I haven't done an interview in such a long time. I was I was slightly freaking out about this one, but you
it's
know,
not an interview. It was
uh,
a chat.
it was a beautiful chat. You know, and thank you for making it as comfortable as it can be for me. as well as giving me an opportunity to once again touch base with my people about what I'm currently doing, and actually showing that I'm still about what I always have been about.
Yeah,
Thanks for that
love that.
opportunity.
Love that.
Yes.
So where can people find you? You're obviously on Facebook. Are you on Insta, TikTok, any of those funny
Yes, I'm
places?
on Facebook, Insta. Yes, I'm still setting up my TikTok account.
Okay.
I was a bit tortoise in terms of that regard, or school part, as South Africans would have
Skull
said.
party.
So yes, I was a bit school part in terms of that. But yeah, my kids are helping me in terms of setting up the TikTok and all of that.
Okay, and who knows? Maybe soon there'll be a YouTube channel. Just saying,
Yes,
just
yes,
putting it out there.
hey, man, why not?
Love it. But no, once again, Rasekgantsho, thank you so much. You have been amazing. And
Thank
I
you,
will be in
sis.
touch about my outfit for those 2 gigs that are coming up on the 7th of August and the 28th of August in Durban. Yes.
All right, noted, noted. Noted.
And to our viewers watching, if you enjoyed today's Playful Soul Mates, join us in 2 weeks' time when I will be chatting to, obviously not going to tell you now, but please do subscribe, like, share, rewatch, do all of those beautiful things, because I mean, you can see how much fun we have. We hope you enjoyed it just as much as we did, and there's some really amazing stuff on the channel besides the Playful Soul Mates series. There's music, there's shorts, there's this chick called Pebbles in Ponderland. She is hilarious. Oh my soul. There's more stuff that's going to be coming. So subscribe and you can hear all about it. And it'll just, enable us to do bigger and better things. But thank you for tuning in today. Playful Soul Mates, one album, many soulmates, countless stories. Thank you for watching.